welcome to another awesome episode of The Connect. I'm Aiden,
I'm Kevin.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
and welcome to The Connect. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Connect. I hope that you guys are so excited to hear about all the news that we're going to be sharing with you today. For those who don't know, what in the world is Youth Connect? Well, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. And everyone here of all abilities are going to be sharing with you news stuff that you probably wouldn't expect on a news show. We're talking gaming news, world news. We're talking about some entertainment news. We might even get some cooking knowledge, and don't forget about that live music. I know that's always a fan favorite of everybody. But other than that, guys, I want to talk about the first thing. And before I even talk, I think we need to get through our first section with it, which is our gaming news. Okay, guys, here is a game that just released today on the Nintendo Switch. And today it is the Spotlight Game of the Week. And just so you guys know, Spotlight Game of the Week always is a game that is coming out, released recently, or an old classic. And today our Spotlight Game of the Week is Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. So why am I talking about the Dragon Quest game? Well, Dragon Quest is huge in Japanese culture, as it was the very first RPG that most people knew about, starting all the way, I'm pretty sure, all the way, or at least for me, started in the Game Boy Advance era, but I think it went all the way back to the NES era. Now, for Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, you will become the master of monster kind. You will be journeying into a fantastical world on a quest for revenge in Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. You are Pizarro, and you are cursed and unable to harm anything with monster blood. Now, you must become a mass monster wrangler to create an army for battle. The hunt for high-ranked monsters takes Pizarro through the ever-changing seasons of Nadiria and its unique environments, with rivers of bubbling lava, mysterious ancient ruins, and soaring towers of cake. That's right. Along the way, Pizarro meets the kind-hearted elf Rose, who joins his adventure to seek out ever stronger monsters. The key to Pizarro's success lies with synthesis, my goodness, the ability to combine two monsters and create a stronger offspring. Each minion that he collects brings Pizarro one step closer to his goal of becoming the master of monster kind. So this type of game kind of goes on the reverse psychology of things, where instead of you being the hero, you are the villain, and you have to become the monster wrangler, which technically, in a sense, you are a hero that was cursed. So technically you are just somebody who's trying to solve this curse, trying to beat this curse. But you technically are working against the enemy with the enemy. It's really interesting game. And it goes against the usual Dragon Quest norm because, you know what? I like a game where you are using the monsters to fight back against the other monsters. Because that makes sense, right? Like, I always thought to myself how weird it is in RPGs where the people don't pick up, like, the legendary master sword of death and destruction, and they just leave it there on the ground. Why aren't you picking this up? Why aren't you capturing monsters to use for battle? And this is where the Dragon Quest Monsters game comes in with the Dark Prince series. It's really cool. Dragon Quest has a very good history of being a very good RPG. And other than that, this has been your video game news. Again, remember, please check out Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. And next up, we have Kevin with his all-important news, but I just cannot wait to hear what interesting fact he has to share with us today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. So let's get right into the headlines. The Gardner Expressway won't be torn down Gardner Expressway won't be torn down under Doug Ford. The Torontonians might pay more for water and waste collection next year. The Ontario Science Centre would like planetarium and outdoor adventure parks at new location. And last but not least, Mitch Marner leads leaves the Toronto Maple Leafs to 4-3 shootout win over Kraken. The Toronto City Hall is saying good riddance to Gardner on the heels of a fiscal deal that will see the province assume responsibility for the aging expressway. The Ontario's Transportation Minister Premeet Zakaria confirmed on Tuesday that the government will maintain the elevated eastern portion of the route, which Mayor Olivia Chow had hoped to convert to a surface-level boulevard. Chow happily hands over the crumbling highway with Queen's Park to assume full capital and operating expenses once the process is complete. The Toronto City staff were still assessing the final dollar figure on Tuesday, but officials project the savings to the city will be in the billions. The council approved the so-called hybrid realignment of the Eastern Gardiner in 2016, a decision challenged numerous times since by the councillors, decrying the most of the cost of rebuilding the eastern leg above grade. The city has already shelled out more than $500 million in sunk cost on the approved version of the plan. However, the full rebuild is set to start in 2026. It's going to be there with us for decades to come. The Torontonians might have to pay for services like water and garbage collection next year. On Tuesday, the city proposed an interim increase of the 3% for the solid waste management services and Toronto Water. Once approved by the council, the new rates will come into effect on January 1st, 2024, but only temporarily until the 2024 rate-supported operating and capital budgets are considered in February. According to the city release, these increases will permit those services to be maintained and set aside money for future capital needs. Officials add that introducing the increase now can help avoid a larger hike when the final budget is approved. Outside of collecting residential garbage, solid waste management services fees also funded the collection and processing of yard waste, organics, household hazardous waste, and electronics, and and oversized and metal items. The fees also goes towards city-wide litter collection, community environment days, street and park bin collection, closed landfill maintenance, and drop-off depots. As for water services, city officials said the average household consuming 233 cubic meters of water per year will see their rates cost an extra $30 annually, which amounts to about 8 cents a day for a total of $1,039. While interim rates are expected to be in effect for New Year's Day, final rates could launch on January 10th after getting approval from the 2024's budget process. A planetarium, an outdoor adventure park, and a large immersive exhibit such as the Rainforest Area are featuring on the Ontario Science Centre would like to see a new location at Ontario Place, though there is currently not enough space in the much smaller planned site. Infrastructure and Ontario released a business case Wednesday that the government is using to justify moving the Science Centre from its current East Toronto located to the downtown Ontario Place on the city's waterfront. The analysis says moving the attraction rather than renovating the existing site would save the province about $250 million over 50 years, largely because the new building would be about half the size of the current space. The government has said that while the new building will be smaller, it will have about 10,000 square feet more exhibition space than the current one because the existing science center is a sprawling building with many large hallways and areas not in public use. But a lot is said to be lost, according to a wish list of sorts of the Ontario Science Center that is found within the appendix of the business case. The Science Center wants to see a planetarium on a new site, envisioning it as the largest of all planetariums or giant dome theaters in North America, and in fact, the largest in the Western Hemisphere that warrants world-class attention and will be a landmark for Toronto. The list also includes an outdoor adventure park with climbing and play structures, but it notes there isn't much outdoor space envisioned in the current plans for a new science center. And in sports news, the Mitch Marner scored the shootout winner after registering the second hat trick of his career to empathetically snap an 8-game goal drought as the Toronto Maple Leafs survived a blown with a 3 out of 1 lead in the third period to defeat the Seattle Kraken on 4-3 on Thursday. Austin Matthews also scored in a shootout and had 2 assists in regulation for Toronto. Joseph Wall made 37 saves in 65 minutes and 2 more in a shootout. Marner's 3-goal performer was his first since February 26, 2022 at Detroit. Matthews put up back-to-back hat tricks to open the season before adding November 4th against Buffalo. Sporting a fishbowl on his helmet after taking a puck to the jaw against Florida, Marner opened the scoring at a 6:34 out of a first period on the power play off. A nice pass from William Nylander for his 6th goal of the season to end that long dry spell. Matthews had the other assist for the 564th point of his career to move past Bob Pulford for sole possession of 9th place on the Leafs all-time list. Nylander had a great chance of Seattle giveaway, but Grubauer pulled out an old-school poke check to deny the winger before Morgan Riley hit the post in the dying seconds of the period with Toronto on another power play. McCann, who was a member of the Leafs for less than a week in July 2021, before being claimed in the inspection draft, got the visitors on the board when he snapped his team-leading 10th past Wall on a Kraken man advantage at 3:37. In today's weather forecast, we've got mixed precipitation this afternoon. The temperature is now at 2 degrees. And tomorrow we will get cloudy with showers and the temperature will be 5 degrees. And now for the topic, for the interesting fact, I'm going to talk about, what was my favorite? Snow. My favorite season is winter. So the story about snow is snow compressed-sized individual ice crystals that grow while suspended in the atmosphere, usually within clouds, and then fall, accumulating on the ground when they undergo further changes. It consists of frozen crystalline water through its life cycle. Starting when under suitable conditions, the ice crystals form in the atmosphere, increase in millimeter size, precipitate and accumulate on the surfaces, then metamorphose in place, and ultimately melt, slide, or sublimate away. Snowstorms organize and develop by feeding on source of atmospheric moisture and cold air. Snowflakes nucleate around particles in the atmosphere by attracting supercooled water droplets, which freezes in hexagonal-shaped crystals. Snowflakes takes on a variety of shapes. Basic among these are platelets, needles, columns, and rime. As snow accumulates into a snowpack, it may blow into a drift over time. Accumulated snow metamorphoses by sintering, sublimation, and freeze-thaw. Where the climate is cold enough for year-to-year accumulation, and glacier may form. Otherwise, snow typically melts seasonally, causing runoffs into streams and rivers and recharging groundwater. So the first fact is, though, snow is not white. It is mind-blowing, but you can certainly dream of a white Christmas, even if it isn't strictly accurate, as any good snow pendant will tell you. The white stuff isn't white, but rather translucent. It's the light reflecting of what it makes appear white with the many sides of a snowflake scattering light in many directions. Snow can also appear in a wide variety of spectacular hues. Dust, pollutions, or cold-loving chlorophyll, right? Freshwater algae can color it back, orange or blue, pink or watermelon snow, caused by algae and containing astaxanthin. Sorry, I can't spell that. A chemical like the one found in carrots was mentioned in the early writings of Aristotle. The second fact is snowflakes of many designs. One of the determining factors in the shape of an individual snowflake is an air temperature around it. The study of flakes has identified that long, thin needle-like ice crystals form at around -2 degrees. while a lower temperature of -5 degrees. This will lead to like a flat plate-like crystals. Further changes in temperature as the snowflakes fall determines different shapes of the six arms or the centric structure of the crystal. And the last factor is snowflakes gets very big. Yes, for decades there have been stories about giant snowflakes falling all over the globe, measuring anywhere from 2 to 6 and even, on one occasion, 15 inches across. While many have doubled these reports and pointing out the lack of corroborating evidence, scientists now claim there is nothing to stop flakes growing that big, as flake size isn't part of a meteorological measuring designations for now. For these massive flakes may be well out there, but just unreported, unseen, or broken up by wind currents as they descend. So this is Kevin Aruja reporting news from Youth Connect, and I'm sending it back to Aiden, and see you next Friday.
You know what, guys? I always have to say something like this. Snowflakes are amazing because depending on what the environment is, it will always be changing. And we can kind of say that to about ourselves in a sense, depending on where we are, how we're raised up, how we were kind of like born to be, the things that we like, the things that we love to do will always be changing. It makes us unique and different, just like a snowflake. We are all a unique snowflake that is falling from the sky. And I will say for everyone else, do you guys like winter? Are you a big winter person? Are you guys like a not big winter person? Are you a big winter person? Or are you guys more of a spring person? What do you guys think?
I'm not really a big winter person, but it is pretty to look at the snow.
That is very true, especially as an artist. I love seeing the white snow and also the Christmas carols starting to flood the stores.
Yeah.
Logan, are you a big snow person or are you more of a summer person?
No, I don't think so.
Really? So more of a summer person. And I'm assuming, Kevin, do you like snow or do you like summer more?
Well, I just say as I already said, I like winter. I like winter. I never like summer because of a big temperature from summer.
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. It is definitely way too hot. I can't handle the heat sometimes, guys. So, but you know what? We all have our different preferences, so it's absolutely okay. And if you guys want to type down below what your favorite season is, please let us know in the comments down below. Anyways, though, it's time to get into our second gaming news. And guys, this is the most important video game news in a very, very, very long time. So if you guys know, there is a game named Grand Theft Auto. And Grand Theft Auto is a game that is all about traveling into San Andreas. And you are I don't know too much about Grand Theft Auto because it's a bit of a more mature game. But this game has been out for years and almost a decade, guys, a decade that this game has been in the works. That Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer reveal is literally just a few days away. So, guys, the studio had previously teased that GTA 6 would reveal somewhere in early December. And you know what? The Rockstar Games on Twitter posted an image of a sunset and some palm trees with the word Trailer 1, Tuesday, December 5th, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And the trailer is expected to show a graphically improved and more immersive spin on Vice City based on Miami and the surrounding parts of Florida, where the game will reportedly take place. Likely, its joint protagonists, including a playable person. Otherwise, not much is known about the follow-up to the second best-selling game ever, Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh, gosh. Whoa. Not even the name, technically. While fans have taken to calling the sequel GTA 6, Rockstar has not officially revealed what the title name is yet, but it could be branded as a spin-off rather than a numbered entry. Whatever it ends up be calling, the sequel looks like it's looking really well, and it has been nearly a decade in the making. Well, GTA 5 has been ported to 2 new generations of consoles. If you guys know, the Xbox One, PS4, and Xbox Series X and PS5. Rockstar worked on the follow-up to the series known for its underdog anti-heroes and its caricatures, my goodness, of Americana. GTA Online, the multiplayer spin-off of GTA 5, has become one of the biggest live service games ever in recent years. And one of the big questions for GTA 6 is how it will continue that legacy. So guys, if you've been waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer is going to be dropping very soon. So look forward for that. I'm definitely intrigued because Grand Theft Auto has been huge in the gaming community. So seeing the reactions of GTA 6, hopefully the graphics look amazing. Like I want my mind to be absolutely blown away. I don't want to be like, it's okay. I want to be like, whoa, that is a huge jump. Because remember, GTA 5 was pretty realistic to how it was. So hopefully GTA 6 is even more realistic. Anyways, though, I'm going to be taking Joshua's spot with some good story news. And I will say this news is definitely amazing in the fact of technology. So guys, a 30-seat hydrofoil ferry boat is set to enter mass production ahead of its introduction into the Stockholm Transportation Network next year. Why is this so important? Well, it is the world's very first electric flying passenger ship, and it has recently completed all tests with flying colors, delighting the manufacturer Candela Technology. During its first flights, the Candela P12 confirmed its top speed of 30 knots or 35 miles per hour, a record for electric passenger vessels. With a range up to 15 nautical miles, it is also the first electric ship with the practical endurance to cover most coastal transport needs. Tests also confirmed the minimal wake, which opens up for exemptions from speed limits, as the P12 will neither erode coastlines nor damage rocks or moored ships even at full speed. They have said that the P12 will let you use these waterways as green highways, enabling fast intra-city connections. State company President Gustav Hasselskog, whether it's public transport fleets, VIP services, or private customers, it will revolutionize how we travel on water. How amazing is that? The P12 employs computer-guided hydrofoils to elevate its hull above water friction. And when on its foils at speeds over 18 knots, the Candela P12 consumes 80% less energy than traditional high-speed vessels. This innovation addresses the primary challenge that has hindered the widespread adoption of electric fast vessels to date: the limited range and slow speeds due to the excessive energy consumption of conventional hulls. Now priced at 1.7 million euros, the 30-seat shuttle variant of the P12 matches the cost of similar size ICE vessels or ICE vessels, and is priced significantly lower than other electric options. Once in service, operators can expect reduced fuel costs by up to 90% compared to diesel vessels. And the C-Pod motors require minimal servicing, and the vessel is designed for single crew operation, which further slashes costs. In total, the P12 is expected to cut costs per passenger kilometer by up to 50%, achieving a similar operational per passenger economy as in a hybrid electric bus. You know what, guys? I am always looking forward to finding new and innovative ways that our human society is getting up to. And the fact that we're traveling on an electric vehicle on water means that there's less pollution in the water if we really try to get these electric-based shuttles over water. It's a bit slower, guys, but hey, think about it like this. At least we're not polluting our oceans. And I'm absolutely looking forward for this, and I really hope that our cities and towns really adopt this idea as well. Good job. And you know what? Made a P12 show flying colors, and the Candela Technology Company go far and beyond with this. Anyways, though, it is time to keep moving because next up we have Logan, and I just cannot wait to hear what cooking knowledge he has to share with us today.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan. So, last week and the week before, what we talked about was herbs, all sorts of different herbs that we use to garnish our food. And for this week, I'll be doing something pretty similar. You've heard the phrase that KFC likes to use, their 11 herbs and spices. Well, we talked about the herbs already, so now it's time to move on to spices. So, the first type of spice that I'd like to go over are the dehydrated spices, and these spices are made by drying out different food items, usually fruits or vegetables, in a dehydrator. And some examples of this include stuff like onion powder, ginger powder, or garlic powder, which I have over here. And this is basically just cloves of garlic that are dried out until like all the moisture is removed, and then they're powderized, usually using something like this. What I have here is something called a mortar and pestle. Now, which one's which? This bowl over here is the mortar, and this little club is the pestle. And so, what this thing is used for is to reduce spices, whole spices or dehydrated spices, into their powderized form. You just put a little bit into the mortar, and then you just go with the pestle, and you go like, and that'll help break it down a little bit. Break it down into little pieces, and then from there you go, and you get a nice fine powder. And because these spices don't have any moisture in them, they can keep in the shelf for like several months, possibly even several years, and they are a lot stronger than like using the original form. Like for garlic powder, for example, like just a little teaspoon of this stuff is probably just as strong as a whole garlic clove. So you can make dehydrated spices out of pretty much any fruit or vegetable. Another common dehydrated spice are, of course, the different pepper spices. We got stuff like chili powder, which is made using dehydrated Mexican peppers like ancho peppers or guajillo peppers. We got paprika, which is made using bell peppers, the heatless peppers. There's sweet paprika, which is just made using bell peppers. And then there's also smoked paprika, where they smoke the bell peppers before they dehydrate it and powderize it. Then we also have cayenne pepper, which is made with, well, cayenne pepper. So those are dehydrated spices. The next type of spice I go into are the whole spices. These are like various different like plant items, like some are flowers, some are fruit, and they're essentially like dried out, and they are grinded into a powder with a mortar and pestle. And when it comes to these whole spices, the first one that comes to mind are the 5 spices that are commonly found in a Chinese 5-spice mixture. Now, this is a very popular mixture in Asian cuisine. It gets its origins from China, of course, but it's pretty popular all around Asia, and it is a blend of 5 different spices that I'll go over today. So the first spice in 5-spice is star anise. This is a pitcher of star anise, and it is named after their distinct star-like shape, as well as its anise flavor. In case you weren't here last week when I talked about it, anise is sort of like a licorice sort of flavor. Although it should be noted that this isn't actually an anise plant. But it contains the same chemicals that give both the star anise and also anise plants their taste. The second component of the 5-spice powder that I'll talk about are fennel seeds. Now, I've actually talked about fennel seeds already last week. I talked about how they're probably one of the most versatile ingredients, all things considered. The bulbous part is like a vegetable, and their fronds can be used as like herbs. And now I'm learning today that their seeds are not only a common spice, but used in the 5-spice powder. Anyway, just like every other part of the fennel seeds tend to also have an anise flavor, but also just like star anise, it's not confusing, I know. So the third component of 5-spice powder are peppercorns. You probably know what peppercorns are. You probably have some ground pepper in your home, and that's just made by crushing some peppercorns in the mortar and pestle. Now, fun fact, peppercorns are neither pepper nor corns. They're a dried out berry, and they're usually pretty spicy. And they come in all sorts of different varieties, like black peppercorns. There are also white peppercorns. There are even green peppercorns. But in the case of the Chinese 5-spice, they use Szechuan peppercorns. And these peppercorns are, of course, native to China, to Szechuan. And they're a lot less spicy and more fruity than the other types of peppercorns. So the next spice of the Chinese 5-spice blend are cloves. Now, cloves come from the flower buds of myrtaceae trees. And they're basically just little flower buds in the trees that are dried up into these little clove-like forms. You can even kind of see where the center of the flower is and where the petals used to be. Anyway, cloves have a very intense, very bitter taste. You don't usually need a whole lot in a dish, but they're an essential component for the Chinese 5-spice blend. And so the final one, if you've already counted, we went to 4 different spices, and so the 5th and final spice in the Chinese 5-spice bottle is cinnamon. Wait. I don't have the picture. What's going on? Oh well. But cinnamon is essentially a dried up bark from a cinnamon tree. Now, cinnamon has a complex flavor, all things considered. You probably noticed that it works in a lot of sort of dishes. It is both sweet, it can be spicy, it can be fruity. It is a highly versatile spice that pairs with just about anything. You most commonly associate it with your desserts, like your cinnamon rolls or your French toast. But it's, of course, like a component in the 5-spice. It's pretty common in Indian cuisine and all sorts of cuisines around the world. It can work for breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts. The most versatile spice of them all. Anyway, that just about concludes my little topic of spices. I don't believe I'm through with them yet, though. There are still plenty of whole spices to cover, but I can cover that next week. Anyway, back to you, Aiden.
So I gotta say, the 5 spices I use a lot, especially for the fact of that Szechuan peppercorn. It gives everything a little bit of a bite and a little bit of a kick to it. So honestly, having your spices with you are very, very important. And learning about the 11 spices, your 5 spices, just learning about all of the regional spices that people have are very, very important. Because then when you know how to make it, like for example, KFC, you know how to make their chicken, you can make it exactly on point. Without having to go to the store, you can make it just like they make it, but at home. So it's very important that we understand what kind of spices they use, because then you can add it to your own dishes. Anyways, though, I'm going to be saying thank you so much, Logan. It's always great to have some cooking knowledge, because you know what? It makes us more smart, and it helps us with some cooking knowledge that we could use in the kitchen. It is knowledge that we can use every single day. Anyways, though, before I go on to the final end, I want to talk about our board game of the week. Similar to our video game of the week, but now it's a board game. And today's quick board game of the week is called Jin. So guys, once your ancestors found and created a source of magic, the exact knowledge of its origins, as far as you know, had been long since lost. A small community has developed around the source, which seeks to protect this place and keep it as secret as possible. Unfortunately, some magical beings, half corporeal, half ethereal, have now tracked down its source. These beings of dubious character, which you call Jinn, have appeared in various places of the city to dispute your access to the source. You are young members of the Magic Guild, and to prove your abilities, you are tasked to capturing the Jinn so that they can do no harm. You can control them permanently only if you catch them in special gin bottles. To seal these bottles, you'll also need corks made from the bark of a tree near the magic source. Whichever of you succeeds best in protecting your small town will be accepted into the inner circle of the Magic Guild and soon will learn the secrets within. So in Gin, you take turns moving across the map that shows 13 locations, and these locations are linked to actions where you can get the resources you need to catch the Gin, and that are in 6 locations. In those locations, you can do things like receive bottles and corks, collect magical power, buy magical items, and hire mages to accompany you, discover secret passages, and even more. In each round, you are only there to capture 1, 2, or 3 of the locations, so you must plan carefully to have all the resources you need in time to catch the Jinn. Once the game will end once all 6 boss Jinn have been captured and removed from the map. Then you score points for all captured Jinn, and whoever gets the most gets to be accepted into the inner circle of the Magic Guild. Interesting game, and you know what? It sounds like a lot of fun. If you do want to check it out, again, it is called Jinn. Sounds really fun, and it released just this year, so it's a brand new board game. Anyways, though, next up is the final part, and I always say the cherry on top of our Youth Connect. Next up, we have Jeffrey with his live music.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're ready to hear some music from myself, Jeffrey, your live musician. And I'm going to be playing a reggae song today called Cookie, I Love You. It's one of my originals, so hope you like it. I just gotta say, when you look at me in that special way, I wanna love you, smell you, feel through my mouth. I love you, Cookie, I truly do. I will have my heart as you do. Let me dunk you one, two. You're my first impression. Planet 4, 5, 6. Another mix, 7, 8. Love is real, it's definitely fake. Cookie, I love you. Cookie, you're so true. Cookie, you multiply my feelings for you. Your purple bites get my blood thumping. Soft center gets my hips bumping. My tongue remembers your sweet taste. My brain screams, there's a race. I've got to fill my face. Let me dunk you one, two. You're my first impression. And 4, 5, 6. Another mix, 7, 8. Love is real, it's definitely fake. Stop, there's no rush. Cookie, I truly love you. Till you are a mash. Cookie, I love you. Just gotta say when you look at me in that special way. I wanna love you, smell your feeling in my mouth. I love you, Cookie, I truly do. Oh, well, I have my heart as you do. Let me count to 1, 2. Feel my first impression before. Planning 4, 5, 6. Love makes 7, 8. Love is real. It's everything. Cookie, I love you. Cookie, you're so true. Cookie, multiply my feelings for you. Your pickle bites get my blood thumping. Soft center gets my hips a bumping, yeah. My tongue remembers your sweet taste. My brain screams, this is a race. I've got still my face. Let me down to 1, 2. Feel my first impression before. Then in 4, 5, 6. Love makes 7, 8. Love is real. It's definitely fake. Clock stop, there's no rush. Cookie, I should love you till you are all mush. Cookie, I love you. Cookie, you're so true. Cookie, you multiply my feelings for you. Da 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 da. Scuba doo ba da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Cookie, I love you. Cookie, I truly do. Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. I'll see you all next week, and make sure to check out my website, jeffraycommand.com. Anyways, it's back to you, Aiden. Bye, everybody.
You know what? I could see in the chat that Miss Bernadette said that she was dancing all the way into the weekend with this song. And honestly, it's a song about a passionate love, a very, very passionate love for cookies. And honestly, guys, it is a great, big, amazing cookie of love. And you know what? It was a great song. And you can interpret it in your way. But let me just tell you this. It's all about the love for cookies. And I know that everyone here loves cookies. Honestly, though, Jeff, amazing song, amazing tune. And on the census of that, we have reached the end of our next episode. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification
I will
bell.
say thank you, Logan. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Kevin. And we will see you all next week. Have a great weekend, guys. And we will catch you next time. Stay warm and stay healthy. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Catch you